Good morning, everybody. Dustin Pass here. It's about 9:30. The Dow's already down another 450 points. The Nasdaq's down another 185 points, and the S&P's down 53 points. I pulled up just some of the normal sites: MSN Money, Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, and everything says the same thing, right? Markets dropping because of coronavirus. We've got the first case in the U.S. It's everywhere. It's the headlines, no matter where you look. On Yahoo, stocks hit by rising pandemic worries. Why the Fed might delay its response to the coronavirus. Coronavirus, nobody knows the impact. Like everything's about the coronavirus, right? Google, wait for these buy signals for the coronavirus. Stock selling continues after Trump announces coronavirus plan. So clearly, the coronavirus is the big thing in the news right now. But the interesting thing is that there hasn't been a lot of change from last week to this week. And we did have one extra case, but really in China, things started kind of leveling off, and things were looking good there. So why did we have this 1,000 point drop earlier in the week? Why did this happen? Well, in short, options, right? We had an option expiry coming due, and we had a lot of big traders, a lot of professional traders who didn't want to have that option expire in the money or out of the money. They wanted to be in the money. And so we saw a squeeze on the market, and they basically held and kept the status quo all through last week. And then this week, they dumped it. And that's why we had such a drastic hit. Now, if you've been in the markets a while, you know that this is not the time to panic. Clearly, we're seeing a big sell-off, and it could get worse. We don't know how bad it's going to be. But really what we should be doing is positioning ourselves to enter into the market. All right, because as the market goes down, we've been climbing for a long time. So we're due for a correction, and the question is how big of a correction, and what stocks do we buy when we think the correction's over or nearing its end? And that's a good question. Hopefully, you guys have kind of a pool of stocks that you have on your watch list. And those stocks are stocks that you've already done the research on. You know that from a fundamental standpoint, they're strong stocks. They've got, if you go back to the Buffetts, you've got the moat. They're well-known stocks. They're stocks that are really hard to hurt. All right, and they're stocks that are going to make it through even a recession or depression possibly. And those are the stocks that you want to focus on. I know that there's a group of you out there though who probably don't have that pool of stocks that you've researched and that you know are good, strong stocks and will sustain a big sell-off. All right, you really need something like that. You need to be able to know what stocks to buy because there's going to be an opportunity. When we see a big sell-off like this, it's providing an opportunity. It's an ability for us to go in and take advantage of these headlines that are driving the market down. So for those of you who don't have a list, this is what I would recommend, or not recommend so much as just something to consider. As you know, we do a lot of insider trading watching. All right, we're always watching the Edgar database for the Form 4s and all that stuff. Now, when we have a sell-off like this, it's going to affect all the stocks across the market for the most part. There's going to be few that are resilient, but for the most part, most stocks are going to be impacted. Now, a good insight as to which stocks are going to sustain through this is again by watching the insiders because they know their own stocks. Just like as an investor, typically you would have a watch list of stocks where you already know the fundamental strength of those stocks. You know what their sustaining power is. Well, the insiders, they know that just naturally because it's their company. And so when we see these big sell-offs, it's inevitable that there's going to come a point when insiders are going to start jumping into their company's stock because they know it's at an extreme value, all right? They know that it's undervalued, in fact, because of the headlines. And so if you're not familiar with insider trading, I recommend you attend one of our webinars. I'm going to put some links below this video, and you'll be able to kind of see what we do, how we filter out the insiders. Maybe you didn't even realize that insider trading was actually legal if done legally, correctly. But it is, in fact, legal, and it's a great indicator as to when a company's stock may rise. In fact, there's been studies from some of the most prestigious business colleges in the world that have shown that just following insiders can give you a significant edge on the market. So what we will be doing here at the Insider Report is most definitely keeping an eye on the insiders as the market begins to fall. And there's going to come a point where we're going to start seeing the insiders enter the market. And we're really going to have a lot of opportunities. And we're going to be sharing those with our Insider Report members. So if you don't know what to trade, if you're not really sure what you should be watching as the market sells off, check it out. I'd love you to join us at the Insider Report. There are going to be a lot of opportunities. Whether you're in the Insider Report or not, the key is, are you going to be able to identify which ones are worth jumping into? Because we don't really know how far this is going to fall. And sometimes it's hard to judge the bottom. All right. In my next video, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about how you can see this on the charts almost in advance. In fact, I would say in advance. This whole sell-off, you could have actually seen it before it happened using volume. And I'm going to show you how in a later video. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, if you have not checked out our webinar on Trading Insiders, click below, watch that webinar, and why don't you join us? I think you'll realize there's a lot of opportunities out there. Guys, have a good day, and like I said, don't panic right now. Now's the time to be patient and to look for opportunities.